Decode him. Real talk, real love. If he's ghosting, guess what? That's a sign. If he's quiet, baby, read between the lines. Confusion ain't love, it's a fog in disguise. You need real, not another lie. This is where we get clear. No games, no fear. Decode him, we go deep. Real talk. Decode him, we go deep. Real talk, real love, no sleep. Decode him. Truth hits different when it's rugged. In love.
You're listening to another episode of the show where we decode behavior, not just complain about it. I'm Erica Bell, your astro bestie who tells the truth, and I'm here with Dr. Alexander Lee.
Hey everyone, good to be here as always.
Today's letter, this one is from the men, but I need every woman listening to lean in because this is the guy you've dated. Our listener signs as trying to figure it out. He's 34. Let me read this. Dear Dr. Lee and Erica, I'm 34. I've been seeing this woman for about 5 months. We clicked fast. Same values, great conversation. Physical chemistry is amazing. She's the first person in a long time I can actually see a future with. Here's the problem. Every time things feel like they're getting more serious, I start to pull back. I don't ghost her, but I text less, I delay plans, I tell her I'm just overwhelmed with work. The crazy part is, I do care about her. I think about her a lot, but the closer we get, the more this panic feeling shows up. I start worrying I can't be the man she thinks I am, or that I'll lose myself in the relationship. I don't want to hurt her, but I also don't want to keep doing this push-pull thing. Why do I pull back more when I actually care more? And is this something I can fix, or is it just who I am?
Yeah, first of all, trying to figure it out, I'm glad you wrote in. A lot of men feel this. Very few say it out loud. So let's normalize the conflict before we pathologize it. You are not broken because your nervous system gets louder when intimacy deepens. That's actually pretty common. What I hear in your letter is three big fears stacked on top of real care. 1. Fear of vulnerability. When you like her more, you have more to lose, and your system goes, pull back, this is dangerous. 2. Fear of disappointing her. You mentioned, I can't be the man she thinks I am. That tells me you have an internal story like, if she sees all of me, my flaws, my stress, my inconsistency, she'll realize I'm not that guy. 3. Fear of losing independence. That sense of, if I go all in, I disappear. My freedom, my routines, my identity gets swallowed by this relationship. When those fears activate, a lot of men don't have language for it. So instead of saying, I'm scared, they say, I'm busy. Instead of, I feel exposed, they just text less. Pulling back becomes an unconscious safety strategy. It regulates the anxiety, temporarily.
Yeah, and I want to underline something because the women listening are like, okay, that all sounds deep, but from my side, it just feels like mixed signals. So, ladies, this is that guy who genuinely cares, but his fear is running his communication. You're over there replaying the date where he said, I can see this going somewhere. And then 3 days later, he's dry as the Sahara in your text. You're spinning. Did I say too much? Was I too available? Did I sleep with him too soon? No. What Dr. Lee is describing is his internal panic has nothing to do with you messing up the vibe and everything to do with his relationship with closeness itself.
Exactly. The danger here is, if you don't understand that, you personalize his regulation strategy as rejection or punishment. Meanwhile, he's actually wrestling with himself, not with you.
Right. Now, this doesn't mean women just sit there and tolerate confusion. We're not doing that. But I want you to have language for it. When a man like this pulls back, it's often, I feel something real and it scares me. Not, I don't care at all. And for you, trying to figure it out, pulling back doesn't make the fear go away. It just buys you short-term relief and long-term anxiety because now you're also afraid you've ruined it. So today, we're going to go inside that nervous system, decode the behavior, and then talk about what real interest looks like, even when a man needs space.
Let's zoom out and talk attachment. Quick and simple. Secure attachment. Closeness feels mostly safe. You can miss someone, talk about feelings, still feel like yourself. Anxious attachment. Closeness feels necessary for safety. Distance triggers panic. You pursue, you overtext, you overexplain. Avoidant or deactivating patterns. Closeness feels like a potential threat. Not because you don't want love, but because your body associates too much intimacy with losing control, being engulfed, or getting hurt. For a lot of men with avoidant leanings, and I'm generalizing here, the early romance stage feels amazing. It's new, you're in control, there's novelty. But when things get real, consistent contact, expectations, talk of the future, their nervous system flips. What feels like warmth to their partner can feel like pressure to them.
Like the same closeness one person reads as finally stability, the other person reads as uh-oh, trap.
Exactly. So they reach for distance as a regulation tool. It rarely looks dramatic. It looks like fewer good morning texts, slower replies, suddenly slammed at work, vague language like we'll see instead of concrete plans. To the avoidance system, that distance brings the threat level down. It's not always a conscious choice to hurt the other person. It's a learned way to lower internal anxiety. Add culture on top of that. Many boys are taught vulnerability equals weakness, or that needing someone makes you less of a man. So when real attachment shows up, they're not just dealing with personal history. They're wrestling with a script that says, if I lean in emotionally, I lose status, power, or self-respect.
Yeah, and that script is loud in dating. So let me translate this into what you actually see on your phone. In the beginning, he's initiating, making real plans, calling you after work. Then you sleep together more, meet friends, maybe you have the "what are we" conversation. And suddenly the tempo changes. Texts go from "how's your day" to "sorry, today was crazy. I'll call you later." And the call never comes. Plans go from "let's do Friday at 8. I'll pick you up" to "let's try to link this weekend." That phrase, by the way, is always a red flag for me. Link. Link where, sir? In the cloud?
Vagueness is often a sign of internal ambivalence.
Exactly. And you'll notice future talk shrinks. Early on, he's like, "we should take a trip in the fall." After things feel intense, he stays in the present or uses foggy language. "We'll see. Let's play it by ear. I'm just going with the flow." Now, here's the key distinction: temporary overwhelm versus a pattern of emotional unavailability. Temporary overwhelm looks like he names the stress specifically. "My dad is sick. This work deadline is brutal." He proactively says, "I might be quieter this week. It's not about you." And when the stress window closes, his consistent behavior comes back. Pattern unavailability looks like the excuses rotate, but the distance stays. There's always some vague, busy season, some "I've just got a lot going on," with no concrete timeline, and the level of emotional access you have never really returns to where it was.
Right. With temporary overwhelm, you'll still see pockets of intentionality, brief check-ins, small reassurances, attempts to reschedule. With entrenched avoidance, distance is the default, closeness is the exception.
So, for the women listening, your job is not to diagnose his attachment style, it's to watch the pattern. Does he come back to intimacy consistently, or is he always halfway out the door? And for trying to figure it out, if you're the one pulling back, I want you to notice: do you actually feel calmer after you create distance, or do you just feel numb and guilty? Because that's your nervous system telling on itself. All right, let's talk about what real interest looks like in communication, especially from a man who might still be figuring his stuff out. I'm going to give you 5 signals, not perfection, but patterns. 1. Initiation with intention. This is more than "you up?" It's, "hey, are you free Thursday night? I want to take you to that new restaurant you mentioned." He's not just orbiting, he's directing energy toward you. 2. Consistent contact and micro check-ins. That doesn't mean all day texting. It means you don't go 3 days wondering if he died. It sounds like, "today's crazy, but I'm thinking of you. Can I call you tonight?" Tiny pings that say, "we're still connected."
Those micro check-ins are small behaviors with big regulatory impact. They lower anxiety because they keep the attachment bond online.
Exactly. 3. Emotional disclosure. He's not trauma dumping on date 2, but he's willing to say things like, "conflict in my last relationship was hard for me," or "I get overwhelmed and shut down sometimes. I'm working on it." That's vulnerability. 4. Future leaning language and inclusion. He uses "we" in a non-possessive way. "We should check out that exhibit. I want you to meet my friends." You're in his mental future, not just his Friday night. And 5. Repair and clarification after tension. This one is huge. When there's a wobble, a weird text, a delayed reply, a miscommunication, he circles back. Hey, I realized I went quiet after that convo. I got in my head. It wasn't fair to you. That's someone protecting the connection, not just enjoying it.
Those repair attempts are one of the strongest markers of secure functioning, even in people who have avoidant or anxious tendencies. It's the willingness to come back to the table.
All right, mini segment. Decode this text. Here's the line a lot of you have gotten. I really like spending time with you. I just need a little space right now because things are getting intense. Dr. Lee, translate things are getting intense.
Psychologically, things are getting intense usually means my emotional activation is rising beyond my comfort zone. That can be positive, excitement, deeper feelings, or fear, old wounds, fear of commitment, fear of loss. In many men, especially those with avoidant patterns, intensity equals loss of control. So, I need a little space is an attempt to reestablish control over their internal state. The text itself isn't automatically bad. He's at least naming something instead of disappearing. The question becomes, what does he do with the space?
Yes, the sentence after that text is not in the message. It's in his behavior. Does space look like he takes a few days, then comes back with more clarity, more intentionality, maybe even, hey, I freaked myself out, but I do want this. Can we talk about pacing? Or does space become a hallway he quietly sneaks out of? So your job, if you receive that text, is not to write a dissertation back. You respond calmly, something like, thanks for being honest. Take the time you need. I'm open to talking when you're clear about what you want. Then you step back and watch. Does he initiate? Does he reopen the conversation? Does he bring specificity?
For trying to figure it out on your side. Concrete next steps. 1. Name what's actually happening for you. You might say, when I feel closer, I also feel this urge to pull away. It's not about you doing something wrong, it's old fear. 2. If you ask for space, put structure around it. This week is heavy for me. I might be quieter for a few days, but I'll call you on Sunday and we can check in. Then honor that commitment. Your follow-through is what makes your fear her problem or your responsibility.
And for my anxious listeners, the ones who hear space and immediately want to fight the air, your work is to not chase the gap. No spiraling paragraphs, no just checking in again every 12 hours. You honor what he asks for and redirect that energy into your own life. Friends, gym, prayer, therapy, journaling, whatever. You're not on pause just because he's uncertain. For my avoidant leaning listeners, the ones like our letter writer, your growth edge is discomfort tolerance. Can you feel that panic rising and instead of disappearing, say, hey, I'm feeling overwhelmed, but I don't want to run. Can we slow down instead of shut down? That one sentence will change your patterns.
That's the difference between acting out your attachment style and working with it.
So we'll land it here. Confusing behavior usually follows predictable emotional patterns. And once you see the pattern, you can stop blaming yourself. Trying to figure it out. Thank you for your honesty. You're not doomed to be the guy who runs, but you do have to tell the truth faster, to yourself and to her.
And for everyone listening, remember, space plus sincere repair can be healthy. Space plus ongoing ambiguity is a red flag. Track behavior over time, not just words in the moment.
All right, Dr. Lee, thank you for grounding this in real psychology and not just vibes.
Always good to do this with you, Erica.
We'll be back next time with more letters, more patterns, and yes, more uncomfortable truth. Take care of your heart, but don't abandon your standards. Bye, y'all.
Take care, everyone.
Screenshot, we'll analyze. Is he loyal or just fantasize? Mixed signals, baby, we read signs. No confusion, we draw the lines. Heart open, head clear, that's the vibe. Tune in, we go deep, let's the code is mine. Decode him, yeah, we talk real love, real talk. We gon' break it all up. If he's for you, you'll know by the way he moves. We decode, man, we don't assume. New text, screenshot, we'll analyze. Is he loyal or just fantasize? Mixed signals, baby, we read signs. No confusion, we draw the lines. Heart open, head clear,